welcome to another Tonic Craft Kit unboxing video. Today's one is for kit number 45, which is called the Serendipitous purse box. And you might notice that the box looks completely different because Tonic have decided to rebrand the kit, and they are actually dropping the kit number, so this one will just be referred to as the Serendipitous purse box. However, I think I'm gonna keep going with the numbering system just because I quite like to know like the chronological order that they came out in, and I don't have to kind of search back for what the names are. So if you are like me and you want to keep knowing the numbers, I will keep using the numbers in the titles of the video as well, just in case you want to follow along with the numbers. So can you believe we're at number 45? We've been going for so long now. Like the first kit I think was September 2017, so that was really long time ago now. I cannot believe how long it's been going on, and I wasn't even doing talking videos back then as well, which is crazy. So anyway, let's get on to the rebranded unboxing of the Tonic Craft Kit. So they've gone for, instead of being like craft, so the typical brown kind of colour, they've gone for white and silver, so it's really nice and clean and crisp, which is really lovely. So not only have they rebranded the box of it, they've also rebranded the binder as well. So, and also inside the box it's got the Tonic Nouveau Craft Perfect logos, and it also says, "Hello, we hope you enjoy your craft kit," which is really nice. And then so the rebranded folder, instead of being the craft colour that matches like the craft wallets that the kits used to come in, you've now got a gorgeous white folder, exactly the same, but you've now got this branding on the inside with the Nouveau Craft Perfect and then the Tonic logo, but it's a gorgeous white colour now, so you'll have the white spines on your shelf, and it is white with silver foiling on there as well, which is really lovely. And it just says the Tonic Craft Kit Collection monthly box of craft products, and then you should be able to keep the same amount in here, so probably 4 kits fit really nicely in here. So that is the lovely new binder, which you will get in your first rebranded new kit. I presume they'll just put them in every 3 or 4 kits like they normally do as well. So that is the binder. And then the sleeve that the dies and stamps come in is also different. It's now just white, and it doesn't have the number on because they've dropped the number. They're just going by the kit names now. So every kit should come with a sticker that actually says the name of the kit on it. So the idea is you could then peel this off and stick it on the front of your folder, so you know which kit is in there. I think I might just do a Dymo label down here that says kit number 45 and then Serendipitous purse box. I could stick that on above it just so I know the number and the name of the kit. So I'll come back to the dies and stamps because you know I usually show them to you later on, but I wanted to show you all the new packaging, and all of your products are now going to come in, instead of like a brown paper bag or just being put in there with some bubble wrap, we've now got them in a beautiful kind of a bluey grey sort of colour with little dots and stars all over it. So it's just a paper bag. And I'll show you all that in a second, but I also wanted to mention the new branding on the papers that you're getting in there. So it's the same pattern as the paper bag, but it's the opposite way round colour wise. You've got a white background with the little bluey grey kind of stars and dots on there, and then it says Craft Perfect on here. So you've basically got like a little sleeve wallet, so you can actually keep all of these together, which is really nice. I'm not sure what it says on the back. Oh, the craft room. Visit our craft room to get tutorials and inspiration from your favourite crafters. So all of the videos that the design team do with all of like the kits and stuff should be linked on the craft room on the Tonic website. So this is the lovely folder that all the papers come in. I will go through it all in the usual order that I show you, but I just wanted to show you all the rebranding of the packaging. So you used to get this, used to get your papers in a manila envelope, but I suppose the advantage of this is that if you want to keep all of the colours together that came with a specific kit, whether to use with that kit or just to know that's a good colour scheme, I suppose this keeps them all together quite nicely on your shelf, which is really good. So you can keep them all contained within that one folder, and you could even like have them labelled. This is like a blue, pinky, purple kind of a kit, you know. So that's cool as well. So I will go through all of the Nouveau first, like I normally do. And And I actually think there are some exclusives in here. So there's one exclusive that's probably jumping right out at you, so I'll probably show you that one first, which is a gorgeous little pen. So this is like a biro pen. I've not properly used it yet. It's just called Polka Dot Pen, and it has a lovely orangey spotty design on to go with the Tonic Studios brand, because they love their orange, and there's also little grey dots on there as well, and then it says Tonic Studios on the little pen grip at the top, and it's just a nice little biro. So let me get a piece of card. Yeah, really lovely black biro. So it writes really nicely. This might be my new ideas writing pen, but really, really pretty. It's nice weight as well. It's a really good quality feeling pen. So I'm going to enjoy using that, and it's got a twist mechanism. So you twist it to get the nib of the pen out. You just twist these two back and forward. So really lovely. Black ink on there. So we've got that little gift. Then there's two other items in here which I'll tell you when I get to them. I think they're exclusive. I'm not 100% sure, but I've not seen them before, so that's why I'm saying that they're exclusive colours of a product. So let's go with the tape pen next. So this is one of the Nouveau adhesive tape runners. You've got 8 meters on here, and it's 8mm wide, and this sized one is a solid clear tape. So this is great if you're on the go, or if you don't want to make too much mess when you're crafting, because you don't have to have all of the backing pieces from your double-sided tape when you're sticking your card panels to your card. I've got one that I've been using that's open, so I can just show you how it works. So it's a bit dirty, I've been using it a lot, but it says top on the top of it, so it has these little ridge marks on both sides, but the actual top does actually say top on there, so you know that you want to hold it up this way, and then you can just press down and you'll get your tape out of there. And it is a really good high quality strong tape, like it really sticks, so your cards aren't going to fall apart if you use this. And if you have the smaller one that comes out in the diamonds, you could actually put gilding flakes or glitter and stuff on it, and it gives a cool effect because of the diamonds. But you could also do it with this tape as well. Do bear in mind you might not always get a perfect strip. There might be little bits where the adhesive's gone a little bit stringy as it's coming out, and you might not get a solid bit, but it would make a really cool distressed kind of stripe for a card. So you know when you like get watercolour paint and a flat paintbrush and you do stripes across your card, you could get a similar kind of effect with like the broken lines using this with like glitter or gilding flakes as well. That would look really good. So that is the Nouveau tape runner, which are always really useful, and in my sped up video you'll see me using this. The reason why I look really like I'm struggling with it is because I was trying to do it in mid-air because the splatters on my cards weren't completely dry. So if you think I'm using it weirdly, it's because I was using it weirdly, because I was trying to hold my card up like this and then use it, which doesn't really work that great. So I do recommend having your cardstock on your desk when you're putting the adhesive on, but I'd splattered on my card and it wasn't quite dry, so I was trying not to smudge the splatter on there, just in case you're wondering when you watch the sped up video. Then the next product we've got is a Nouveau glitter marker, which I always love these because there are just so many different ways to use them. I won't go through all of the different uses again. I seem to like get deja vu every time we have a Nouveau glitter marker in a kit because I go through all of the different ways of using them. But just really versatile for like splattering, edging card and like stamping and stuff. Loads of different ways that you can use them. So this is the Wild Mulberry colour, and I've got my original one here so I can scribble out some of the colour to show you. And you can actually drag this out with water as well. So it's a really, really packed full of glitter kind of a pen. It does have kind of a chunky felt tip kind of nib to it. So if you want finer detail, you can scribble this out onto your glass cutting mat and pick it up with a fine detailed paintbrush and paint the detail in. And you can also watercolour with it that way as well, add some more water in it to dilute it and watercolour with a paintbrush, because if you just add water to this, which I could show you, I'm not sure if my water brushes have got any water in them, oh that one has, so you can actually drag the colour out, because that's been sitting there for a little bit and this isn't watercolour card, it doesn't drag out very well, but this pen, it likes to really suck into porous cardstock, so the best way of getting really good results watercolouring with it is to scribble it onto your glass cutting mat and then pick it up. Because if I like load up my brush here, you're getting a much better, obviously that's quite dilute, but you're getting a much better look rather than having the harsh lines and then being able to see where you've pulled the colour out. You would just get an overall kind of colour if you scribble on your glass mat and then pick it up. So that's a way of using it for watercolouring. And when you get these pens, I'll open this one just to show you. I'm going to end up explaining everything about them again now, but they look like this when you get them, and you just have to activate them by pressing them down and shaking them until the ink starts wicking into the nib of them, and then you'll get the full amount of colour in the nib of the pen as well. So that's how you activate them. Okay, so you got that. Then you've also got a full-size Nouveau crystal drop, and this one is a metallic crystal drop, and it is called Navy Blue. So it's a gorgeous deep navy kind of metallic sort of finish. And with the metallic drops, sometimes I think they might be a thicker consistency because they have like that mica added into them to make them all metallic. You might have to swirl your Nouveau drop when you finish them off. So it doesn't usually happen with a new bottle. Maybe when they're a little bit older, you might have to swirl. See, that came out really nicely, just as it is. But if you are getting the peak that comes on a Nouveau drop from like an older bottle, you can actually, and it looks really good with metallic ones, you can actually swirl it. And with a metallic one, because of that mica in there, let me flick it from below, just got to flatten it out a bit. But because of the mica that's in there, you actually end up seeing that swirly design on there. I don't know if you can really pick it up on the camera, but with the metallic ones, it works really nicely to swirl your Nouveau drops because you get the difference between where the mica's got more concentrated in the medium as well. So that's just a nice little tip. And also the flicking from the back as well. It does make them spread out a little bit more. That one had an air bubble in as well because it popped in the centre. But it makes them spread out a little bit more if you flick them from the back. So if you like the flatter ones, just keep flicking your project. But do be careful if you've added, like say you've used mirror card and normal card on your project, and then you've added your Nouveau drops over them, over the two different surfaces, and then you decide you want to flick them to make them more flat. Just be careful because the mirror card is more of a slick surface, and if you tap with the same force on mirror card as you do with like a porous card, they're going to spread out much more on the mirror card than they will on the porous card. So just be a little bit aware of that if you've used two different types of card on your project. But anyway, that is the Nouveau drop that we're getting. So that is the gorgeous navy blue colour. Then we're also getting a mini mica mist, which is called Midnight Horizon. I'm pretty sure this one came out in the Blue Blossom colour trend, but it's a really gorgeous deep midnight blue. It kind of looks a little bit grey as well. It's kind of like almost like a grey sort of solution with that blue mica in there. And I can shake this up and show you a little spray of it as well. You want to make sure you really shake these up because, especially if you've had them standing like this, all of that mica is going to concentrate on that tiny little circle on the bottom, and you really want to make sure you shake it all up, because if you spray it and you pull up the solid mica powder that's sort of settled into the uptake tube, it'll get into this system and completely block it. But if you've shaken it up nicely, you shouldn't get a blockage. And you can also clean out the nozzles as well by unscrewing the bottle, putting the uptake tube in a pot of clean water and keep spraying until only clean water comes out, and then you can put it back together again, and then that should prevent it from clogging, as long as when you use it the next time you make sure it's really shaken up so you don't get any mica up the uptake tube, or any concentrated mica basically. So we'll do a little spray of this. Oh no, it went everywhere. Had a feeling that would happen. Oh, that's good though. They're white clean. It's a nice shiny surface on those new white folders. It's actually white clean, so that's good to know too. Anyway, this is the mica mist. You can see it's kind of a little bit grey with those sort of mica flaky particly bits in there. but it gives a really lovely reflection. And you can use mica mist in so many different ways as well. Just spraying onto the card, spraying through a stencil, using an ink blending tool to put it through a stencil as well. If you want a different kind of look, you can just splatter with it, you can paint with it, you can mix it with glimmer pastes and Nouveau drops and stuff and squish your card into it to give a different effect. You could mix it with the glitter marker and squish your card into it to give a cool background effect and stuff. Loads of different ways of using the gorgeous mica mists. So that is that. And then these are the final two products. They are products that pre-exist, but I think they are exclusive colours because I've not seen them before. I don't have all of the Glimmer Paste, so this could be one that came out, you know, before I started getting them and that, you know, I've just not seen. But I think it could be a new colour, and it's called Twilight Sky. So this is a little sample pot of Twilight Sky Glimmer Paste, and I'll show you inside the beautiful colour that it is. And with these little pots of Glimmer Paste, so the Glimmer Paste is kind of like a clear glue that's packed full of glitter, and it dries really rock solid. So especially in these small little pots, you want to use this relatively quickly. I mean, you could open it and maybe use it within a couple of months, but if you leave this open for you know, like 6 months plus or something, it's probably going to be rock solid by the time you come back to it, because it's such a small pot, and as soon as you've opened it, you've let a load of air into that, and it's obviously being exposed to the air. It will dry when you've used it on a project, so if you're trapping air in there, it's going to start to dry out. So just make sure, you know, it's a lovely little tester pot just to give you the feel of Glimmer Paste. So if you open it, just try and use it within a couple of months, otherwise you might not be able to use it when you come back to it, because Glimmer Paste is something that you really can't get back again. I said it in my Stamp Club video the other day. It's really difficult, or it's kind of impossible really, to rejuvenate this. It's possible sometimes for Nouveau mousses to get them back again, but Glimmer Paste really do dry rock solid, so once it's dry, that's kind of it. So definitely make sure you have fun with this and use it for a few different techniques. It's brilliant through stencils. It gives a really lovely thick raised impression that dries really rock solid and really lovely and glittery, but also you can use it for flatter kind of backgrounds as well, which I show you in my sped up video, where I mixed this with Nouveau drops and mica mist onto the white Easy Clean mat and just squished my card into it to give a really cool background. And I've got one left over here, so you can see that gorgeous sparkle in there. That is the Glimmer Paste, and it just adds a flat kind of effect. And if you don't like the 3D sort of look, or you don't have any stencils, you can still use this product for these kind of backgrounds. And another way, I don't think I've mentioned this for quite a while with Glimmer Paste, I should probably shut this so I'm not letting so much air into it. But if you have one of those Easy Clean mats, the white mat that comes with the Tim Holtz Media mat, or you can buy a larger one in a roll, get your palette knife and get some of the Glimmer Paste and spread it out into maybe a couple millimeters thick kind of layer, and then leave it to completely dry, and you'll be able to peel it off of the white mat, and it'll be like a flexible kind of glue, really, a glitter glue sort of thing. And you can actually die cut it. So when I've die cut in the past, I will get a piece of scrap paper, like a piece of white printer paper, put the dried piece of Glimmer Paste onto the printer paper, put a die on top of it, and then fold the printer paper over the top, just in case it's going to get stuck to my cutting plates. It never has, but I do that just in case. And then you can run it through the die cutting machine, and you'll get like an aperture cut out of your messy splat of the Glimmer Paste, or you could just use it to cut shapes from the Glimmer Paste and, you know, not bother about the waste piece. But I think that's another great way of using it. I'm pretty sure I did do it in a video. It was a long time ago though. It's probably like 2-3 years ago. If I can find it, I'll try and link it at the end of the video, just as like an extra idea for your Glimmer Paste. But I think this is an exclusive colour, because I've definitely not seen it before, Twilight Sky. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it is an exclusive colour. I don't know if it's going to be exclusive to the kit or whether it's going to be out again, but I've not seen this colour before. And then these are the Spring Rose Pure Sheen Sequins, and again, I've not seen this colour before. It's the same kind of mix of, oh no, it's actually different sizes. I was just going to say it's the same kind of sizes that we saw in the Water Lily pink sequins, but the biggest size is bigger than the ones in here. So it's a completely different kind of size mix in here. We've got the teeny tiny, the medium size, but the bigger size is the kind of size of the ones where you just get the big ones in the pot. It's kind of that size of sequin, but it's just a really gorgeous baby pink kind of a colour. Really lovely, just for adding little scatterings on your card, or these tiny ones I do think look quite nice in a shaker card, so I did actually use them in a shaker card as well to show you. So that is the Spring Rose Pure Sheen sequins, and I think they are an exclusive colour to the kit because I've not seen them before. Okay, that's all of the Nouveau products, and I'll be back in a second to show you the cardstock. Okay, so in this month's kit we've actually got 9 pieces of Craft Perfect. We usually only get 8, so having 9 is, you know, a lovely extra bonus, getting 1 extra sheet of cardstock. So we have 3 of their classic card sheets, which is the card that has the linen woven kind of texture on one side, and then it's smooth of the same colour on the other side. We have Denim Blue, we have Aubergine Purple, which is one of my favourites, I love that colour, and then we also have Ballet Pink, so a really nice selection of pinky, bluey, purpley colours. Then we also get a sheet of their smooth white 300 DSM cardstock, so perfect for making the base of your Serendipitous purse box, which is what this kit creates, and I haven't even told you that it creates a 3D box yet, but it does create a 3D box, so any of these cardstocks work nicely for the base, but if you want a really sturdy one, then the 300 is really great for that. So you've got a piece of that to try and see if you like it. Then, also another of my favourites, this is a piece of the Iridescent mirror card, and this is the Purple Rain colour, so it's a really gorgeous deep purple, and then the camera really does pick up on that rainbow effect, but in person you can see more of the actual purple colour, but on the camera it really loves to pick out that rainbow. Then the next sheet is one of their specialty cardstocks, like the Luxury Embossed cardstock, and this is the Iced Grey Glacier cardstock. It almost looks like scrunched up paper, but it's got a gorgeous pearlescent finish to it. Really, really pretty, and this texture stays when you die cut it as well. Then we've got a sheet of the glitter card, which is Cobalt Blue, and this definitely came out in the Blue Blossom colour trend, because I remember this one. It's kind of like a mix of silver and blue in there, so really gorgeous deep dark blue with a silver colour for that glittery card. Then we also get this sheet of rose gold foiled craft card, which is called Rose Gold Posies, which was also in the Blue Blossom colour trend. I kind of forgot we had this in this kit, and I didn't actually use it on any of my projects, but you could easily incorporate it into any of the cards that I'll show you as well. And I think my camera doesn't want to really focus. Oh, there we go. I really love the pattern on this, those gorgeous little posies all over it, really, really pretty, and that rose gold is just beautiful. And then the final sheet we have is one of their handmade cotton papers, which is called Tropical Nights, and it's really, really pretty. It's like loads of little crinkly discs all over the top of each other, kind of like confetti all on, laying down, but it's a gorgeous purple. It's actually on black, this one, so if you wanted to use it this way, you could use any of your mousses and stuff, even the mica mist, to colour this. But that gorgeous purple effect on there goes really nicely with the other purple cardstocks from the kit as well. So you've got the Aubergine, the Purple Rain, and then this Tropical Nights, yes, Tropical Nights colour as well. So really pretty cardstock. And I love the colour scheme actually from this month's kit, because you can go pink and purple, you can go blue and purple, you can use all 3 together. You could just focus on the pink and the rose gold kind of colours, or you could just go for bluey tones as well. So I think this is a nice versatile kind of colour scheme. Sorry, my camera's going a bit weird and not focusing. But yeah, really lovely selection of cardstock. Okay, now for the stamps and dies. So I've got my sticker in here, which I'm still undecided where I'm going to stick it. I could stick it in the middle, I could put it down here, I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided where I'm going to put that. But we have got the die set and the stamp set. Again, I've put my dies on a magnetic sheet. I just get cheap ones off of eBay in an A4 size, and then I cut them in half to be A5 sized. And then we've also got the stamp set as well. I didn't actually use the stamps, which is really unusual for me because I love stamping, but I just felt like I wanted to just experiment with the dies this time, so I didn't actually end up using any of the stamps, but they are a really lovely little set of stamps. We've got thank you, love, best wishes, lots of love, and special day, and then you have 2 stamps that coordinate with 2 different gift tag kind of dies that are in the die set, and then 2 that coordinate with the oval that will fit in the centre of the intricate kind of die cut designs. You do also have options of just die cutting the detail for all of these pieces, but you have the stamp options as well, depending on what kind of project you're working on, which is really lovely. And all of these little words will fit inside the different shapes as well, and if you just die cut that oval in a portrait fashion, like this little lots of love would fit in there really nicely. So really nice little stamp set to go along with the die set. And then the actual die set is to create this little Serendipitous purse box, and I will show you a construction for that in a little bit towards the end of the video. The one that I have already made, which I'll show you in a minute, I actually put 2 of them together, made it a double-ended one, but the construction one that I'm going to show you will just be a single one, exactly how to put it together, and I'll show you a couple of different ways of which tabs to stick together as well. As to kind of determines how far you want the box to open. For example, if you stuck all of the tabs together, you'd only have an opening this wide on the top of the box, so you can decide if you want to stick all the tabs together, or not stick these ones and have this sort of sized opening, or not stick these ones and have the whole thing that can open up as well. So there are lots of different variations of how you could stick it together to allow for what sized gift you're going to put inside. So this is the main die that creates the purse box, and you need 2 of them to create the single box, or 4 of them if you want to do the double one that I'll show you. But it's a lovely, I don't really know what you would call that shape. It's kind of got half a decagon on the top of it and then a rectangle. So it's a really interesting kind of shape. I suppose it's almost like an arched bag, but they've done it with flat sides to kind of make it easier for the sided portion to kind of go round. So a really interesting kind of shape, and it's a kind of a small dinky little gift box, but I reckon that would fit a gift card in as well, or any of the die sets we've had recently, whether it's been Designer's Choice or other kits. I can't 100% remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's been a couple recently that have been little things to fit gift cards in, and even like one of them might fit inside this as well, so you can combine 2 different die sets together to make sort of like a more of a pass-the-parcel kind of gift, where you have to open one box and then another box to get your actual gift. So that is the main piece to create this box. Then you have the outside panel to decorate the front of the box or the back of the box, so you can just use pattern papers or inky papers that you've created. And then you also have 2 decorative panels as well, and the thing I really like about these 2 decorative panels is the centre pops out of them, so you don't have to use the oval to cut the centre out. It has like a filigree kind of edge around the centre, which I think is really lovely. A lot of the time these kind of panels are completely solid, or you have that space to put your sentiment in, and it kind of looks a little bit odd if you don't put the sentiment in, because you've kind of just left like an oval or a circle or something just empty. But this one's really nice because on both of them they just cut this kind of filigree edge. I suppose you could call it a serendipitous edge, which is what the actual die set is called, the Serendipitous purse box. And then the other one is similar again, but it's more like swoopy kind of swirly designs. And this one's got some gorgeous vertical lines in there with little flowers integrated into it, and also a leafy design too. And this one is symmetrical, so you could do some cool different effects with that symmetricalness. Is this one? Yeah, I think this one is symmetrical too actually. So yeah, a really nice kind of symmetrical design. This has got 2 sort of flowers here, some more like a tulipy flower here, and then some foliage and leaves and stuff going around it as well. And then you have the option to put that oval in the centre if you want to. You could have like stuck this over the top of a photograph and had like someone's face peeking out from behind all of this foliage or this fancy frame, but you can also layer up a sentiment on top of there, and you get loads of different options. So I mean, in that stamp set you had 2 options of like a little decorative design that you could stamp onto that oval and then put one of these sentiments in, or you also have thanks, which will cut really nicely into the card. And then you have enjoy your day, and then down here you also have just for you and best wishes as well. So you've got 4 different options of ones that will actually are designed to cut into that oval, but you also have these 2 that say for you and with love that are designed to cut into these 2 little tag dies, but you could also cut them into a pre-cut oval as well if you wanted to. So there are a lot of different options for what kind of sentiment you want to put in there, which is really lovely. And so speaking of these little tags, you get this sort of archway one with the flat bottom, where the for you is actually designed to fit in there, but the with love would also fit in there. I think you'd have to cut the tag first and then put the with love in, but you could easily mix and match these sentiments. And then you've got the gorgeous little oval tag there as well, which, as well as being a nice little tag, I think that would also make a really nice aperture shape as well. I've done one card using lots of the ovals to create apertures, but I think this kind of oval as well would look really lovely for an aperture too. It wouldn't really work for the card that I did because of the actual tag design of it, but it definitely could work for creating multiple apertures on a card to show something else through from underneath. And then you might be thinking, how do you decorate the side of the box or the bag? It's got like different panel sections. The top one, actually where the slit is that the closing mechanism goes through, is actually got loads of little flowers on there that deboss their design into it, so you don't have to worry about decorating that piece. But you then have 3 panels down the side, and so you get 2 different options for the 3 different panels. So these swirly ones kind of go more with this design, and then you also have this one with sort of the vertical lines and a couple more flowers that go more with this one, and then you have the rectangles that they'll go inside. They are slightly different sizes, these 2. They look the same, but this one is a tiny bit smaller than this one, not much, it's literally like millimeters, but they are slightly different sized. And you probably will notice when you try and put these panels inside them, because if you put the smaller panel inside the slightly larger rectangle, you notice that there's more room. I think you can fit them in the opposite ones, but you'll know which one is supposed to go in which rectangle when you put them inside it. And then you have the outside rectangle, so you can just do pattern paper if you wanted to with the outside dies as well. Or you don't have to decorate the sides of the box. The one I'm going to show you how to put together, I'm not going to decorate the sides, I'm just decorating the front of it to make a different look as well. So that is the die set, and I'll be back in 1 second to show you the samples that I've done, and then we'll get on with the construction as well. This is the double box that I created. I just wondered how it would look as a double box. I thought it would look quite a unique kind of design. As I was saying, it's kind of got like a half decagon on the side, so I thought adding 2 together would be quite interesting. I did actually leave them as 2 separate boxes, so you could put 2 individual gifts in there, but you could have left like the bottoms open and sort of stuck them inside each other and created it as like one continuous gift box, but I decided to do them stuck together. So when I show you the construction, we'll just be making one of these, but for this one I wanted to have a go at making 2. I stuck with all purple colours for this one because you know I love purple, so I thought I'd just go all out using all 3 of the purple cardstocks together. And then on the handmade cotton paper, I did also use some of the purple glitter marker that we're getting in the kit as well, just to accent that embossed detail. Because this paper is quite of a dark colour, the actual colour of ink of the glitter marker doesn't really show up, it's just sort of the glitter, which in all of the glitter markers is more of like a silver kind of glitter in there, so it just sort of picks out the detail with that silvery design. And then I've used the Purple Rain Iridescent mirror card to cut out my details, and then I actually used the Aubergine cardstock to create the box. I did have to pinch a second sheet out of my stash to make this one, because you will only get 1 box out of an A4 sheet. You'll have little leftovers, but you need 2 pieces for each like 1 box. So to create this I did need 2 sheets of A4 cardstock in the same colour to create it. So you might have to raid your stash if you want to make this box. But I just thought it was a cool way of showing you kind of how you could do it. And then for the mechanism, like the closing mechanism, obviously normally you would probably thread a loop through this to kind of hold it shut here, or maybe tie the ribbon around this and then tie a bow coming off of it. But because this is a double one and I've got 2 openings on it, I thought, well, I need a cool way of like trying to close it. So I just used some of this organza ribbon and I threaded it all the way around the box, and then I've offset the bow. So instead of putting the bow in the centre, I've tied the bow over one half of the box to kind of like balance out the sentiment that I put on there. And then on the back of it, I'd cut extra ovals and stuff, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use them. I put some of the glitter marker on the iridescent card as well. I think it has actually dried on there. A little bit's maybe coming off, but I wasn't sure if it was going to dry, but I think it has dried on there. And I just put 2 of them this way to sort of hold the ribbon, and then I cut 2 thanks because I wasn't sure how I was going to use it, and so I just put the extra thanks over the back of it as well, and this is holding the ribbon in place, because when you open the box you're then gonna need to thread it out of these holes to be able to get into the ends, and I didn't want the ribbon to like get lost, or whoever the recipient is not be able to tie it back up because they weren't sure how the ribbon went together. So I just decided to sort of make a decorative element of sticking this onto the back of it. And then this is how it opens. You can see I've added some glitter marker onto that debossed detail on there as well, and then you literally just pull both of these tabs over the top of the little rounded pieces that have the holes in, and if I had left them together they would have come out easier. So these 2 pieces will go in first, and then you just put one over and then the other one over. But this is what I was saying about different ways of opening it. So here I haven't stuck any of these parts down so that you can really open this wide and get a, you know, the largest gift in that you possibly could into this box. But you can also make it so that it opened like here as well, so you'd have that sort of sized opening. Or if you really only wanted to like shake some chocolates into there or something, you could stick it all the way up to the top and just have that as the opening, and then you'd kind of like shake it to get the chocolates out. So really depends what kind of gift you're going to put inside it to how much you want to close it up. But I thought for this one I'll just leave it all the way open. The one that I'm going to show you how to construct in a little bit, I'm going to stick these tabs down to show you that kind of way of just having that sized opening in the box as well. And obviously these pull apart from each other, so you can get a decent sized gift in there. So that is just like the basic box, and then to put it back together we're just gonna hold those 2 together. It's kind of tight so that it's it holds together nicely. Oh yeah, when you haven't stuck these tabs you've kind of got to make sure you push them inside the box first, and then you can thread these 2 pieces through that slit and pull that over the top, and then on this side ease those tabs inside, and then you can pull the 2 pieces. You need to kind of get them lined up. Mine have gone a little bit squiffy, and then you can thread them through the second slot to keep it all together, and then we can just pull that piece of ribbon back round because it's stuck to the back of the box, so we're not going to lose it. And obviously the other side opens exactly the same way, and then we can just thread the ribbon back through there and then tie it up with a bow again. I mean, obviously if this is a gift box for somebody, they're not really going to keep opening and closing it with a bow, so it's not, you know, if somebody's not that good at tying a bow or something, you know, they're not, when you've opened a gift box, you might tie it back up so then you can just keep it on your desk and it looks pretty, but you're probably not going to keep opening and closing it all the time. But anyway, that is a double gift box. Then I have done a sped up video showing you 3 different cards. They kind of came out a little bit plain. 2 of them are a bit plain. I kind of feel like maybe I should have done something extra, but maybe the splatter kind of balances it out nicely. But I just wanted to show you a different way of using the decorative panels. So for this one I used the main panel and I cut an aperture into my white piece of card. Then I used the decorative design into a ballet slippers, I think it's what it's called, a pink piece of card, and then I put a background that I'd made all inky into the very background, and so it's actually got layers of foam between the white and the pink and the blue to make it like a double shaker, so the sequins can shake in front of and behind that intricate piece as well. And when I was putting the shakers or the sequins in here for the shaker pieces, I did actually try to pick out mostly the little ones so that it wasn't like too overcrowded in there. I mostly put little sequins in there, which I thought looked quite nice. And the background piece of this is like the squishing method, but I started with the Ice Blue Glacier cardstock and then squished it into the Glimmer Paste, the Nouveau drops and the mica mist. So it's got shiny areas from the Nouveau drop and then glittery areas from the Glimmer Paste, and then a little bit of extra mica from the mica mist on there as well. And that's what I did for the background of that one, just to make it look a little bit different. And then this is the With Love that is supposed to go in one of the gift tags, but you can also just cut it into a piece of card and trim it into a banner as well. If you didn't want an oval kind of shape on your card, or a gift tag sort of shape, you could just cut it into the card as well. And the With Love and the For You that are supposed to go in the gift tags work the best for this because they're not in a shape, they're just the words, whereas the oval ones are, all of their detail cuts it into an oval kind of a shape, so it would look a little bit weird if you cut it into a rectangle. It would probably still work, but it would just look a little bit weird compared to like how good this one works for it. So that is a lovely shaker card, and then I just used some of the mica mist to splatter in the background, and even some of it's gone on the acetate, and I left it because I quite liked it. I've scattered a few extra sequins on the outside, and then I've used some of the navy blue crystal drops just to go on those two areas as well, just to tie in that deep blue as well. So I do actually like how that turned out. I felt like it looked a bit too plain before, but now I'm seeing it again, I do actually quite like it. So that's just another way of using this kind of a shape, but you don't have to just use it this way up on a landscape card. You could have had it coming down from the top of the card as well, or you could have used it the other way on a portrait card, or even that way on a portrait card. It almost looks like a letter D. So if you've got somebody whose name begins with D, you could use it as like a monogram kind of card as well. So that is the first one from my sped up video. And then this one, when I'd been doing this squishy technique onto the Glacier, the Ice Blue Glacier luxury card, I had stuff left over, so I did actually do 2 extra backgrounds just onto the white card. So this was one of them, and you can see that gorgeous glimmer paste, and you get that cool veining kind of look where you've pulled the product up off of your mat. And then the other piece I used as the background on this card, and I just cut 2 of the frame designs and put them opposite each other. You can see how nicely they fit on a small card. If you were using an A6 card, you would get a tiny gap in the middle as well, but they fit really nicely on this slightly shorter card. My cards are 5.5 inches tall, so really, really nice kind of proportions to fit on there, and they're slightly narrower than the width, which obviously means you can use it as an aperture because you'd have a little bit of space either side. But so I decided to put one this side and then the other one the other side to kind of offset them. And then I decided to use the thanks sentiment on there, and I just cut like freehand with a pair of scissors a strip of glitter card to the right width to go behind the word thanks, so it kind of stands out against that light pink oval I put behind. And then to tie that in, I put the pink and blue strips of card across there as well, and then I just finished off with some Nouveau drops. So I at first I just put the Nouveau drops in the flowers, and I'm like, I can't just leave it with 2 Nouveau drops, and then I added some here, and I was like, oh, I still need more, so I added 3 there and then 3 up there as well, and I think that kind of balances it out nicely. You could have added the sequins on here as well, like the sequins with a blue Nouveau drop in the centre for the centres of the flowers would look really lovely. But anyway, that is kind of quite a simple kind of a card, but with a lovely messy background. And then the final one, you'll have seen me do this a few times relatively recently, where I placed a load of sequins behind a die cut, And on this one I did decide to put acetate on there as well. So I've just put big blobs of glue behind these apertures that is just the oval sentiment, and I kind of stacked them to kind of look like a balancing stack of stones or something, just sort of going up the card. And then I've used alternating cardstocks for the actual intricate die cut, and I alternated. This one is just sequins, this is sequins and a glitter. Well, actually the just sequins do have a bit of glitter on, but these two are mostly glitter, whereas these three are mostly sequins. And I wasn't being too precise with my sequins. Some of them are upside down, some of them overlap. I was just being a little bit more messy. So it kind of looks like a shaker card, but it doesn't shake. So it's just sort of all encapsulated in there. And I felt like, you'll know if you've seen me do that technique before, that I like to cover the rest of the glue with glitter. And obviously we didn't get a glitter in the kit, but if you had this glitter, which is the dusted fondant, I think this was in the Sorbet colour trend. I'm pretty sure this was in the 4-pack of glitters and confettis from the Sweet Sorbet. So if you got that in your kit when that one was released, or if you bought the set of 4, then you might have this colour. Which is just really, really pretty, and I thought it went really nicely with the sequins from this kit as well. They just go really, really nicely together. They're not too contrasting, they're very similar kind of colours. And then I also splattered a little bit of the mica mist in the background and added a few sequins as well, just to finish that one off. So I think they turned out quite nicely, and that will be a sped up video coming up. And then you can also do the double purse box, and now I will show you the construction for the single one. It is really easy to do, but I thought I'd just, you know, show you anyway, just in case you're struggling with it. Okay, so I've got all my bits and pieces cut out here. I'm going to go with a blue box with white designs, and then I'm also going to bring in some purples as well. And I'm also going to show you how to make a handle for the box as well. It is called a Serendipitous purse box, which you'd kind of think a purse could have a handle to go with it as well. So I thought I'd just show you how I would make a handle to go with this box as well. So I've cut 2 of them out, and I've cut them from the Denim blue card, but I also sprayed it with the mica mist just to give it a little bit of interest, because I'm not going to put side panels on this box. So I thought having the mica mist on there would just kind of add to the blingy kind of look of it. I haven't actually folded any of these yet, so we need to fold all of these. I think every fold is away from you except for when we get to the top closing kind of mechanism. So they're all just sort of going away from you to build the shape of the box. And because I've just used the textured Craft Perfect, it's not too thick of a card, so you don't really need to reinforce them with your glide folder or your card creaser. You can just do it by hand. But if you had used your sheet of 300 GSM card, you might want to use something to really press the folds down so that they're nice and crisp and folded really nicely as well. So we'll just quickly fold all of these, and then I'll show you with the top ones as well. So for these ones, you want to fold that first fold away from you, but then the next one fold towards you, because if you remember how it closes, you want those sticking up so that they go through the slits. So away from you, and then the last one is towards you. They're the only ones that are towards you. Everything else is away from you, which is quite nice, easy to remember. Then to stick the main sort of section of the box together, sometimes I start with the bottom of the box like this, but with this one I thought it might be nicer to show you a way of encapsulating these 2 side panels in between these 2 pieces. So if you want it to be a really nice sturdy box, we're going to do it in a way where these panels will stick onto one of them, and then the other one will fold over the top to hide it. So oh, they're here. I was going to say, where are my red scissors? So if we take this piece of tape off here. Oh yeah, I've only stuck tape on the side panels to begin with, because I wasn't sure where to stick the tape to do the other kind of sort of closure for the bottom of the box. So if you want to leave the box like the purple one that I showed you, you only need tape on these 2 pieces, and then wherever I show you later on for the bottom. But if you want to stick the first panel together, you also need tape on these panels as well. So we'll stick this first one together. And then, because this has got 4 sides, we can do this way of sticking the last side together to get it to be nice and even. So we'll take the tape off of that side, which is the same tab that I just took the tape off of on the other side. And then we've got our main box sort of coming together. I think at this point, I want to attach the handle. So I'll show you how I would attach a handle and how I sort of chose the width of it. I'm kind of thinking or looking at this piece here. That's my inspiration for the end of the handle. That hole is slightly off center, but what I did is I just took my big paper trimmer and I did do it just by eye, but it's just over 1/2 inch or like 1.5 centimeters width of the purple, and this is cutting the length of an A4 sheet, and I'm just leaving it at that length. And then all I did was punch 2 holes, one in each end, and then to curve it like this, I just freehand cut the curve on the bottom. I don't think anybody's really going to notice if it's not perfect, and mine definitely isn't perfect, but I just like freehand cut a curve on the bottom of it so it kind of mimics that top piece up here. If you really wanted this to look absolutely perfect, you could just place scraps of card over that portion of the die and cut that a few times, and then like stick that onto the end of a piece of card. Maybe even do it in a contrasting colour so that it kind of looks like more like a design element as well. But you could do it that way if you wanted. And then all I'm going to do is like gently curve it. Usually if I'm making a handle I would kind of double this up, but this is just like a prototype kind of box really, just to sort of show you how to do it. And then I am going to stick this first panel down, but I think I want the handle to be attached to the straight side here. And because of the way that it opens, the length of an A4 sheet is perfect for the height of the handle, I think. Or it might even be too much actually, but I think that's a nice height away from the top for the handle. But because you open the box from the top, I want the handle to be able to move, so I'm going to attach it with brads, just in case it kind of gets in the way of you putting your gift inside there. So I'm going to pick a couple of brads out. Obviously you could just use like silver or gold split pins that you get in like the stationery section. I bought a couple of random selections of brads off of Amazon ages ago. So what colour do I want to use? I think maybe a blue brad would look nice. I've just got to find 2 that match each other. I think they're similar. Oh, slightly different. I do think these mixed packs are really good because oftentimes you don't need them all to match, or you're only using 2 or 4 on a project. But I was also using these mixed brads when I did the cantilever boxes, because they took quite a lot of brads. But I quite liked mixing and matching the brads, like picking out lots of different designs but in the similar colour tone and then using them on my project. I quite like the look of that. So to get the placement for the handle, I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't think it really needs to be that perfect, so I'm just going to take my pokey tool and poke a hole kind of there. It's sort of like equidistant from here and here, just to put it in quite a nice position. And then I'll just do a similar thing on the other side, just to get a little bit of a placement for where the brad is going to go. And then you just want to put the brad through the end of your handle and then put it into the box. Really, really simple, just like any other Tonic die set that already comes with a handle. And actually, if you are a fan of Tonic's 3-dimensional die sets, you might already have a handbag that has a handle like this. I'm thinking in my head, I think it was called the Morwenna Beach Bag. I think that one's handle is very similar to this handle that I've just created. So you could definitely use that to die cut your handle as well, or have a look through any of like the rest of your stash for any other handbags that you might have. I can't remember what they were called now. The ones with the cool latch that slid up and down. Were they just called luxury handbags? They had handles as well, so you could also pinch a handle off one of those too. But I think just adding that handle looks quite cool. It just gives it a different sort of look as well. So even though we've added that handle, we can still fold this flat for adding our panels on. Obviously we don't want to bend the handle, but I've also got all of my little panels ready here, and I decided to cut the detail from glitter card and then from the white card as well, but I've kept the central piece that fell out from the glitter card so that I can place it back in, just as like a different design kind of element. And then for the sentiment, I have just cut the Just For You, and then I've got the Glacier Ice card behind that as well, and I thought I'd just stick them both on each side so they're identical. So I'll do that off camera and come back so you don't have to watch me glue. Okay, so I shadowed them together just really quickly, and I decided to just use one sentiment, I think, just to put it on the front of the bag so that you can clearly tell which one's the front and which one's the back. So I'm just going to stick that on there, and then we can place this one in the centre of that one we've stuck it down as well. And put that one on there, and then the centre piece okay, that looks quite nice like that. And then we'll repeat the same on the other side. Obviously you can decorate these however you want to, or even just leave it just with the splattering. You could stamp on it. You could have like jelly printed all over your cardstock before you die cut it, and then cut it out and make some boxes. My mum's been doing that a lot recently and they look really, really good. Just adds like something different that you wouldn't have really been able to recreate on a box panel, but if you've done it on a piece of card and then you die cut it out, it gives that really like random sort of look, which looks really good. And then actually, should I leave it without the glittery insert for the front? Yeah, I think I will. So for the front I'm just going to put the sentiment in there, and I think I'm going to put it on some 3D foam. The nice thing with these ovals is you can cut a rectangle and then just cut little slivers off those corners, and then it fits really nicely on the back of it. Well, actually, before I stick this down, I was going to add some of these strips on there. Yeah, I think I'll do that before I stick it down. So, I just cut a load of little thin strips just from the Aubergine cardstock and the Purple Rain Iridescent cardstock, and I was going to just sort of lay a few of them, maybe like 3, just to add some extra purple onto it. Otherwise we've only got a purple handle and no other purple. So I'm just going to stick these on, and then we'll trim off the excess. It just adds a little different element. I love adding little paper strips to things, and you know, this doesn't have to be you cutting into a full sheet of the cardstock. These were little scraps that I had left over from die cutting other bits and pieces, which is really nice. It was actually leftovers from die cutting the double bag, and I thought, oh, I'll just use those and, you know, trim them into little strips. So I think that would look nice. Then Just For You in the centre. Or we could even like make it even more wacky and bring a couple of strips across this way. Maybe even put the Just For You in there. Or like, no, I like that. Adding those on. It just brings a little bit more purple into the bag. And you could even do this on the side panels as well. If you didn't want to use the decorative panels, like we haven't, but you didn't want to leave it plain, you could just use a few little strips like this and add them to the side panels as well. Okay, so I think I'm going to go like that for the front decoration. I'll leave the back for now because, you know, it's not that important that I decorate it. And we'll just put that in there. And then we can trim off all of these extra pieces. So make sure they haven't stuck to the actual box. We can fold that panel down and see from this side where to snip them. You could have left it completely flat to do all of this, but I kind of got carried away. And then we can snip those ones off, and if we tuck this inside we should be able to snip the other ones off as well. And then tuck this one inside to snip these two off. And then we'll get on to putting the bottom of the box together, and I'll show you where I'm going to put tape. Okay, so now we've got all the little bits cut off there. I think that looks really nice actually. And you could even, if you left this completely flat, you could then put some Nouveau drops on there to decorate as well, and then leave it to dry. Like around here you could add a few Nouveau drops, or even if you're only going to do it on like the front side, you could just wait until you finished it and then put the Nouveau drops and then leave it to dry. So yeah, it's really nice. You can just add extra elements like that. So for the bottom of the box, what I want to do is I want to fold in, so this is the front of the box, I want to fold in the back flap first, because when I then fold over the front flap, you get the fold there rather than having the open edge of this one. So if we fold that one in, and then I think I'm basically, actually we can leave that out for a second, I'm basically just going to cover it in 3D foam, not 3D foam, red liner tape. So if we just put a couple of strips on here. So this is on the front of the flap for the back of the box, and then I also want to do the same on the back of the flap for the front of the box. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm sure you can figure it out when you're making it for yourself as well, but that's where I'm deciding to put the red liner tape. I wasn't sure whether I was going to put it on the tabs or not, but I think if I do it like this, then the tabs will just stick straight onto that, and then this extra tape will stick on top of the tab. So this is the first one. This is the back flap, and we've stuck it on the top of the back flap. And then we can remove that, make sure it's in position nicely, and then we can just fold over these tabs. And this one, and then we can just take the tape off of this piece and fold that over. So now we've got the nice edge on the front, and we've got a really strong bottom because we've encapsulated those tabs inside, so it's really going to keep nice and sturdy in there. And if you do it that way, you also have the nice just a rectangle on the inside as well, rather than seeing those little glue tabs. And then, oh, where's that piece come from? Oh, I think that was just on my desk. Yes, it was. Then we're going to stick these pieces together. So on the original double purple one, I just left it like this, so that you have to tuck 2 sets of tabs in on each side when you bring them over. But for this one, I wanted to show the kind of opening that you're left with if you stick the first set of tabs down. So we can just take this, and we're just going to push both the tabs together and push it inside the box so that they're in there. And then from here you can just see and line it up with that side and press against it, and do the same on the other side. And that might not be completely stuck yet, so carefully hold it, tilt this one backwards, and then like pinch from the inside to get the glue tab to stay nice and stuck on there. And then we now have that as our little opening on that side, and then we can repeat the same on the other side. And then we do the same, we just push those 2 tabs together, tuck them inside the box, and then as we see it coming along the straight edge of this main front panel, we can just press, and then on the back we can do the same thing and just press when it's lining up with that. Then you fold this one back and then pinch from the inside to make sure they're well stuck. And then that is the kind of opening we've now got on this box. So when you close this one, you're just going to tuck the 2 tabs on either side in, like that. You can bend these ones outwards a little bit whilst we're putting this together. Then you bend these 2 inwards and hold them together so the holes are kind of lined up. And then you just take one side and thread it through. That slit is literally just a slit, so it's a little bit tight, but that's good because it means you don't have to put anything through the hole on the top if you don't want to. You can just leave it as it is. And then we'll tuck those in and then thread this through, and there we go. we've got our closed box. I actually think it closes nicer when you've stuck these ones together. That is easier to close. So if you're thinking about ease of opening and closing it, if you stick the first slope together, it's easier to open and close it than if you hadn't have stuck them together. But there we go. We've got our actual like little purse with a handle on it now that you could use. I would double this handle up just to make it a little bit thicker, but just for like demonstration, I just left it as a single one. And if you wanted it to look a little bit more dainty, you could have made it skinnier as well. But I think this kind of looks a little bit more masculine, especially if you leave it without like a bow on top or anything. I think that looks quite nice. You could even, if you had the media dies from Tonic, the padlock set, if you cut the padlock from like 3 or 4 pieces of cardstock, stick them together and then snip a little piece out of the loop at the top of the padlock, you can then slide it through here, and I think a cool padlock would look really good on this as well. Again, it makes it look a little bit more masculine if you put something like a padlock on it. So yeah, I think that worked out really well. So I hope that helped you if you were if you just wanted to know how it went together, or if you've got the kit, if you're watching it in the future and you've got the kit and you're just struggling how to put it together. Hopefully that will have helped you. And I hope you really enjoyed this up close video, giving you a look at everything in the new Tonic Craft Kit, which is the Serendipitous purse box, giving you a few ideas of cards that you could make with the different panels, showing you how to construct the single box, or also showing you a version of the double box, and also showing you the rebranding of the Tonic Craft Kit as well, which I think is really exciting, that they've now gone for like quite sleek and modern kind of look with just the white and the silver writing. Obviously I loved the craft look as well, but it's quite nice to change it because it's been a long time. As I said in the beginning, it was like September 2017 I think that the first one came out, so it's been a long time. So it's quite, you know, it's time for a rebrand really. And I think they've done a really great job of picking like the white and the silver to go together. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll put the links in the description below the video for how you can get hold of the Tonic Craft Kit. I usually just link to the main page, which then gives you the options of going to buying it one-off, doing the monthly subscription or the quarterly subscription as well. So, you know, however you want to get the kit, you can just purchase the one-off kit and it will be shipped on the 1st of July. Or as close to the 1st of July as possible, or you can do the monthly subscription where it will just roll over each month and you'll be guaranteed to get the kit, or you can do the quarterly subscription where you pay for 3 kits, and I think that just rolls over if you don't cancel it, or you can cancel it if if you just wanted the 3 kits as well. And all of the links below the video are affiliate links, so if you do purchase the kit after clicking the link or anything else, you know, it doesn't have to be what you clicked on the link for, it can be absolutely anything off the website. I will get a small percentage of the amount that you spent on your order, but it's at no extra cost to you. So all you have to do is click the link and then place your order like you usually would. And I really do appreciate everybody who has ever and whoever does use my links as well. It really does make a big difference to me, and I really do appreciate it. I know I've said it quite a lot, but I want to make sure everybody's heard it. So thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully it was helpful and you got a little bit of inspiration from it, maybe just ways of using some of the Nouveau products that you hadn't thought of before, or maybe you're actually going to get the kit and you wanted some ideas of how you might want to use it as well. However it's inspired you or helped you, hopefully it has in some way. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!